As of 2 days ago, the WWE had announced a deal, a multi-year cross-promotional deal with TNA. This is something that us as wrestling fans were not accustomed to, because WWE just normally does not sign deals with anybody at all. The fact that this is even happening, this is groundbreaking news, not just for WWE, but for TNA as well. Now, with that being said, this is going to bode really well for talent. This is going to bode well for WWE and TNA from a financial aspect and from a business aspect just in general. There's a lot of stuff that we can unpack here, from the talent, business, financial, just about everything in general, and I'm going to unpack all of that here. But before we do get into the video, make sure you guys like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also click the bell for post notifications to be updated to when I'm going to drop my YouTube videos. I should be dropping another video in about 2 to 3 days. And also click the link in the description for the Discord. That's the Bad Takes Better Conversations Discord. Bad Takes Better Conversations is a podcast that I do with two of my other co-hosts, Tommy BTBC and WrestleSpot. We will be live tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern. We are going to be live earlier because we are usually live at 8 p.m. Eastern, but we are going to be live earlier due to TNA Genesis. I will get into that in a little bit, but we are live every Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. I will prop up the socials, my socials, along with the BTBC socials just right up here. So go ahead and follow all those socials, my socials and the BTBC socials. But with that being said, now we can get into the video. The WWE and TNA, they are both going to benefit from this. Now, the first thing that I can think of that the WWE and TNA are going to benefit from this. Okay, first let's talk about what WWE can gain, right? Okay, they're going to gain a lot of positive publicity from fans and media. The WWE, the old regime, never used to do this, okay? They didn't work with they didn't work with companies, like absolutely at all. And now they're going to be working with TNA. But in 2022, they did try to work with TNA. They were in a handshake agreement, I would assume. They brought in Mickie James, who at the time was the TNA Knockouts Women's Champion, into the Royal Rumble. And really crazy that the announce team actually acknowledged her as the TNA Knockouts Champion. Now, over the past year, the WWE and TNA have worked together kind of a little bit. TNA sent over Joe Hendry, they've sent over Jordan Grace, they've sent over the Rascals to work over in NXT. NXT has sent over the likes of Charlie Dempsey and Tatum Paxley over to TNA. One issue that I did have was the WWE wasn't sending over really major talent, but TNA was sending over their major talent. But that is the only thing that, kind of disgruntled me about the past year. WWE needs to do a better job and send more talent over. Now, this WWE and TNA deal, this is not, I don't know if this includes the main roster. I don't think it does. But who knows? Maybe we see the main roster included. Who knows, right? I mean, like, this deal, this is new. So, this is literally 2 days old. So only time will tell if the main roster will be allowed to work with the TNA talent. But I think, those matches could be great. Another thing that the WWE gains from this is NXT talent. They're going to be able to send them to go to TNA and learn from TNA talent. Now, a lot of the NXT talent that are signed to WWE nowadays isn't what it once was. Like, NXT used to recruit a lot of indie talent, but not anymore. Outside of a couple of names like Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, Ethan Page, Sean Spears are the only names that I can think of off the top of my head. Those are the only talents that I believe that truly have a lot of experience in wrestling, because everybody else who signed, the Obafemis of the world, the Trick Williams of the world, like, I can name more people, but that's just to name a few. Everybody else is basically NIL talents. They come from a sports background. They don't come from a wrestling background, so they don't know the ins and outs of the wrestling business, and they only know what the WWE has taught him. The fact that they're going to be able to go to TNA and learn from veterans like Moose, Ace Austin, Josh Alexander, the Hardys, Nick Nemeth, those are 3 guys right there in the Hardys and Nick Nemeth that have learned the WWE way, and that have also learned, the way from outside of WWE. So they obviously have a lot of experience. The fact that NXT talent are going to be able to learn from them is, I think that's going to work wonders for the NXT talent as well, just because they're all so young. Okay, fresh wrestlers for NXT, okay? The WWE is going to have full advantage of this TNA roster. They're going to be able to use it. They're going to be able to create some really unique matchups. And I'm going to name all these matchups like later on in the video. But I just want to talk about like kind of like the stuff now that will help WWE, will help TNA, and then later on we can kind of get into the matchups. The other thing that helps WWE is obviously exposure, right? Now, exposure, you're thinking, wait, WWE has a massive amount of exposure. But let me put it to you like this, right? Okay, the WWE, a lot of people that watch the WWE, I would say 70%, maybe 70-80% of the WWE viewers are casuals. They do not watch anything outside of WWE. There's 30-20% of people that are hardcore fans that watch a lot of other stuff. On the other side of the spectrum, right, TNA, okay, a lot of the TNA fans, they're hardcore fans. Like, not only do they watch TNA, but they probably watch a lot of other promotions. And the thing is there's probably people that watch TNA that have never seen NXT or maybe WWE in general. Maybe they don't like it. So guess what? So now NXT is going to be able to send over talent to TNA to do pay-per-views, to do shows, weekly shows. And guess what? People are going to be like, oh, that Obafemi guy looks good. Like, he looks great in ring. Oh, that Tony D'Angelo guy. Oh, that Trick Williams. And then it just creates a lot more exposure for the WWE. They're going to get to showcase these talents to outside of the WWE casuals. And I think that's just such a great thing for the WWE. It doesn't matter that the WWE is way bigger than TNA. That doesn't matter. There's people that watch TNA that have probably never watched this version of NXT or just don't watch WWE in general. So that helps out the WWE. So now let's talk about the stuff for TNA. Obviously, TNA, this is going to help them with a financial boost, maybe merchandise sales, TV deals. Okay, by the way, TNA is trying to lock in a Canadian deal, or I believe they locked it in, but no, they haven't locked it in. Sorry. The WWE is going to try to help them gain that Canadian deal. Not only that, TNA is trying to look for an American deal, and I got a feeling the WWE is going to try to get them that American TV deal. Okay, WWE is going to try to do that. Now, I'm going to make a prediction. Now, TNA people, like, you guys are going to like this one. I have a feeling that the WWE is going to be making a call to a certain somebody. He helped bring back the TNA name last year, and that is Scott D'Amore. I have a feeling the WWE is going to try to bring back Scott D'Amore and try to have him at the helm. Now, obviously, I think Anthem runs the show now for TNA. They're like the guys who own TNA. I think the WWE is going to play a big part in talking to Anthem to bring back Scott D'Amore, and we can get kind of like some mended fences there. And, you know, Scott D'Amore is going to help creatively. Like, he's going to be the head of creative for TNA. I would love for the WWE to do that. I think that's a prediction that I'm willing to bet my life on. Okay. Another thing that's going to help TNA out is the increased exposure. Okay. Like I said, for WWE NXT talent, they're going to go over to TNA and get noticed by people that only watch TNA. It's the same thing for the TNA talent going over to NXT. Like I said, WWE viewers, a lot of them are casuals, especially people that watch NXT. Okay, so guess what? TNA talent are gonna go over to NXT, and a lot of these viewers are gonna be like, oh, Moose, oh, look at this Moose guy, oh, look at this Josh Alexander guy, oh, look at this Ace Austin guy, look at, that's a huge thing. Okay, and the last thing that I'll talk about that helps TNA is that TNA is going to be, from what I've heard, these are sources that I've heard. I think Fightful reported this. I'm not really too sure. I forgot really who reported this. But I have heard from sources that NXT is going to allow, well, WWE in general is going to allow TNA to use their performance center not only for training, but it has been said that TNA is going to be able to use the NXT, where NXT tapes their shows, right? Well, not tapes, because they're not taped. Obviously they're live every Tuesday night, weekly television. But they're going to be able to turn that into the Impact Zone, which is actually crazy. So that's another thing. Like, they're going to get a lot of exposure from being at the WWE PC and being able to use all the high-end stuff that the WWE has in terms of production. TNA's production could skyrocket up. And the other thing is The WWE Performance Center has a lot of great coaches, Matt Bloom, William Regal, just to name a few. TNA, like, they're going to get to learn off of those guys, just like NXT is going to get to learn off of the TNA guys who have a lot of experience out there and can teach these NXT talents like a different way outside of the WWE way, because there is a certain thing called the WWE way. I mean, look at this past week, Penta, right? They said that Penta eventually is going to learn the WWE way of doing things, that is a real thing, okay? The WWE is going to be able to teach these TNA wrestlers the WWE way, but it's going to mesh together because, like, they're both going to be learning off of each other. So, honestly, this makes so much sense. Okay, now, the only downside to this deal is TNA could potentially lose talent to WWE. The WWE does have a lot of money, and they can throw a lot of money to TNA talent, and it's going to be money that TNA, obviously, they can't offer because they don't have it. But I don't think this will happen that much. The only two talents that I do see leaving from TNA, and obviously this is going to happen, Joe Hendry and Jordan Grace. Outside of that, I would probably bet my money that maybe not much anybody else is going to leave over from TNA to WWE. And honestly, the last thing that I will talk about that's going to make this deal so much fun, like I said, is the matches. And there's a certain pay-per-view that the WWE could bring back that was here in the WWE a couple of years ago in 2020 called Worlds Collide. Yeah, go watch Worlds Collide. It was between NXT and NXT UK. Now we can potentially have NXT against TNA and create some cross-promotional matches, okay? That could be absolutely huge. And I actually have some matches that I would like to read off coming from my BTBC mates, Bad Take Better Conversation mates. And I will read them off right now, some of the matches that I think we could definitely get. So the first one, Obafemi versus Jake Something, Javon Evans versus Leon Slater, Javon versus Ace Austin, Obafemi versus Moose, Masha Slamovich versus Julia, Tony D versus Mike Santana. This is a big one, by the way. Hardys versus Fraxium, Macklin versus Obafemi, Callahan versus Tony D, Macklin versus Ethan Page. I mean, look, I can keep going on and on. I'm not going to dive too deep into these matchups, but there's so many matchups that could happen from this. This deal is going to help out WWE. This deal is going to help out TNA. And whether you like it or not, it's going to flourish. And there's a lot of people, I see the haters out there saying, oh, the WWE, they're going to bury TNA. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're going to help TNA secure American TV deals. They're going to put them on the map. Like, if you think this is a new regime for the WWE, let me tell you that right now. Like, this isn't the same one with Vince McMahon. This is different. So if you think that this is going to fail and that the WWE is just going to take over TNA, you've lost your mind. But that's literally everything that I can cover here. I mean, we're going to get cross-promotional pay-per-view starting with tomorrow night, TNA Genesis. That's also part of the reason we're going to start at 6 p.m. tomorrow for the BTBC podcast. We usually start at 8 p.m., but we are going to start at 6 p.m. tomorrow due to TNA Genesis being at 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so look, tomorrow night is the first cross-promotional, should I say. Okay, TNA Genesis and NXT talent are featured on there. If you look at the match card now, it's just TNA talent across the board. But you could expect to see NXT talent pop up tomorrow night at TNA Genesis. And in a couple of weeks, NXT does have a pay-per-view called Vengeance Day. I believe it's February 15th. Also expect to see TNA talent there. Maybe we actually get TNA and NXT matchups there at NXT Vengeance Day. But we'll just see. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also click the bell for post notifications. Come tune into our BTBC podcast tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern. And that's all that I got. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.